Hey people, it's 4th of July, about 8:30. Fireworks going off down here. People down here in Mississippi love blowing shit up. We have fireworks for a week. You know, they go on sale tomorrow, so they're going to keep on going. You know, Jorge Washington, I'm sure he'd be proud of what he did. You know, George, that's an old word that means king of the earth. And so it doesn't mean the whole earth, but it's that piece of the earth. You know, it's coming from GEO, relating to the earth, and Reggie, you know, is a ruler, advisor, the ruler's advisor. And washing, you know, is I showed in a movie on a tie-dye movie. You know, washing is a code for drugs. If you look in the ancient writings of dyeing, you know, they call all of their mixtures drugs. And tone is the fashion. George, the king of the earth, in the washing fashion. So I watched Russell Brand this morning, and he asked the question, you know, he said, why must, you know, the United States and the United Kingdom, how come they the only ones, you know, they got to put that United in the name? And I'm sure he knows, but it's better, you know, if you get people to think about it and come up with their own answer. But yeah, they're the masters of the magic, you know, the magic of words, united. And you know, in their magic spells, when they put something all in capitals like that, you know, it has another meaning. You read it backwards, and it's the det in, DETIN, the det in united, and then it's SETAT, the set at states. You know, det in united, set at states. And somebody had said one time that they thought Russell, you know, was a shill, but just listen to what he's talking about. You know, they hate him. He talks about the things I want to talk about, but I don't word them as well as he does. The way he words it, he gets away with it, you know. He's just asking the question, wanting you to think about it. I guess the reason he gets away with it, you know, he always adds a disclaimer. You know, this is just what I think. What do you think? Let's have an open conversation. So yeah, I think he's one of the best channels on YouTube. And so BP Earthwatch says CERN's going to fire up 2 of their time warp machines tonight. And I don't think so much about him. He, you know, he's one of my homeboys. He's from a little farther north, Mississippi. And probably about 4 years ago, he was hanging around with that old preacher Paul, somebody that's got millions of followers. And he said that the Hebrew Bible was written by the devil. And then he shut up about it after that. He never said anything. He erased those videos. But, I mean, he's a doomsdayer. Every time he puts something up, it's doomsday. And after that, you know, I get all my news from The Simpsons or Family Guy. You know, you get more truth out of the cartoons. They know how to get away, like Russell, you know. They know how to get away with saying things. So this video is going to be on the brainwashed, det at united, set at states of you have said America. So I did a long 40-minute movie about this morning, about this letter chi, and some people call it a chi. You know, it's that Greek letter X, they'll call it, or the Latin X, they'll give it a CH, and some people give it a KH, as in Kayana. But this letter wasn't in the Hebrew. You know, they had the X was the TZ or the TS. And so I pronounce it CH a lot because that's how our language evolved. And so people would pronounce it different ways, you know. We weren't all online then. We were all with a book in every home. Everybody lived out in the country and had one book. So they learned how to read, kind of like me learning how to read this. And I understand what it says. Maybe not the national pronunciations, but the pictures, you know, give me the meaning. I did a movie before where I showed where there was people over here in the Central America on the West Coast that called theirself America, you know, long before they made up that story about Amerigo Vespucci, you know, and in Puerto Rico, and they say that means the port of the rich. Rica. And so, that's the difference, the two pronunciations. Some people pronounce it ka, and some people pronounce it cha, rich. And that's what it means, is the rich port. They had all the gold coming from America, the home of the rich. And the boats were coming, all they had to do was come out here to Puerto Rico. They didn't have to come fight their way in. They would come to the rich port. And so they did have this letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and it's just like this sin or shin over here. They put a dot over here, and it's a SH or a SE. And without the dot, it's just the sin. And they'll say the dot on the left side means it's the sin, but why would you put it up there? It's got another meaning. And the same is the B. They'll say with a dot in the B that it's a sharp B, and without it, it's a V. Well, this cough here, you put a dot in it. They say that it's a CH without the dot in it, and with the dot, they'll say it's a sharp K, but it's backwards. And just like the sin, you add the dot, you add the E. The K, you add the dot, you add the H or the E. H and the E is, the same letter. That's why they're so similar. You put a dot in it, and it becomes a CH, and then you follow it with a yod, and then you have a chi, and it replaces not the X but the chi. There was two X's that they had changed, and that change had happened here. This was the old Phoenician style, the oldest style X, and you can see it's drawn as a plant growing out the ground. And the pronunciation was possibly changed because this used to be pronounced as a GR, and then I believe it was during the Teutonic language shaping was here, and when it become the X, which could be the TS, the TZ, and then evolving language, it became the CH over here. And so it was still the same X here because they didn't have that letter Tzadi, so it was here, and they had this other X. And then it was here where they had blended this X together and mixed it up, because the X means plants, but this X here, meant no consume. It was actually the S with a strike across it, which was this S. You can see the resemblance. And so it was an old S with a strike across it. It was this letter here. It was an S with a strike. Is the chi. So it's not an X, it's the chi. The X is here. And it's, why we say, to X something out. And it actually comes from this chi, where you do not consume, to exit out. And so that's why some people said rich, and some people said Rick. So America, they say it's you have said, because thou have said, and it's just one of, 80 plus words that they say means word, base word. And you see here Ezekiel 35:10, because America, two nations and two countries, mine shall be, and we will possess them, although Yahweh there was. So even though Yahweh was already here in America, they're still going to possess them. It's two countries. It's a North America and a South America. So this first word, if we just read this through straight without the lower markings on it, it's Jon. And that's just one of the thousands of words that they say mean Yahweh is gracious. Anytime you see that Yahweh in a name meaning, you can ignore that. Every word says that. Every name, everybody's name is Yahweh is gracious. Yahweh is beautiful. And it's a hard word to trace a meaning down because, it could be a J or a Y or an I. It could be a yon or an ion. And there's many, many languages that use it, different markings. And so when I run into this, I scan all of them and I see what it means in most languages. And then I always go to the English language, the Dutch or the German, because they're the ones that kept the language the best. And the language come from America. They say it came from Mu, and went to Europe, and that's where it was changed before it came back. But they'll often say it means to come. And young, you can see a young in there in the Turkish, which a lot of words stayed good in Turkish, and especially coming from the French, because they were really hip to the language. And it was just later that the language was changed. There's Bibles that's 700, 800, 900 years old. It's in French that French people can't read today because that language was changed within that time. And beauty, handsome, prettiness, and that works with the the make, to make light, make on. And then as a bird, to make light, how it flies. Or a soul, your soul is light, to make on, on is light. Or an indication or a reference, to make on, to point something out. And they'll say in English, it's coming from the Greek, meaning going. And you'll see that going in a lot of languages, to make on my way. And in the Dutch, you're coming from the English ion, a charged atom is what you use to make lights. And it could just be pronounced yawn, as in going to sleep, boring. But yeah, there's many words. This could be, the Y-O-N, the I-O-N, the J-O-N. And so this is, when I see something like this, I just kind of read it by the picture meanings. And down south here, they have the word yonder, meaning over there, meaning a place that you can point at, but you can't see from where you're at, over the hill somewhere, yonder. And so this is one of the words, I have to read it several times and with the different directional markings, and that's why the words are spelt like this, because they have different meanings. And this little mark here says to read it the I and then the N-O-I-O-N. And it could be annoying. But you won't hear this anywhere else in the world, but these final letters with the drop tails, the N and the K and the M, I'm definitely sure that this pronounces an S. And so you can't have a final M in a word. In many readings, it makes me think that when an N's final is pronounced as a yam. And a yam is a word for a day in several of the old languages. And a day is to make a light, on. And so some people are reading it on, and some people are reading it yam. And so best chances are this is read yam, as in the day, to make light, the daytime, the day. And then Americ, and the little mark up underneath here, I say that it means this is a T, but it's the same mark they'll put underneath here. They say it means an A, a vowel, and that's why they'll give it this A here, America. And I'm sure it reads like that sometime, but you read several passages with different knowledge of these directional markings, and so it's probably America in one of the readings, and it's probably a merit in another reading after you learn what these symbols mean. But yeah, a merit is a good thing. A merit is a bonus. But if we just read it straight through like we didn't know any of the secret markings, it's yam, it's a day, America, at sign. And this is sign, as in sign your name. And when it says, and the two of them made a covenant, it'll say, and went to court and sign in writ, a covenant in writ. And so the dot over the S here, it's a S-E-N-I or a S-H-N-I. You see they give it this upside down E. And here they'll say it's a S-H-E, a shine, or a sin, and that's the word they give to the moon, and that's why it's the second day, because the first day was the Sunday, the second day was the sin day, the moon day. And so yawn, make on, the day of merit at shine, the guys what set, S-E-T-T-I, or S-E-T-H-Y, to see they, what set they, what see they. The arts, what? The arts is the magic, all the arts were the things that you went to learn in school. Was the main thing, was the arts. And the arts what? And that arts is, the same as arts today, but it's also magic, the magical arts, and the arts of rhetoric, speaking, the arts of hiding language in signs, in the arts. In the arts what lie, THY, they in, which lie they in, where's in new, which lie they in, where's in new. And then two U's, we, and then why, meaning how or who. We who have, EVE, is to have, EVE, have and to hold. We who have says, the one who has the says, which is York. York is the holder of, New York is the new holder of the power, America. Where's in we who have says, the one who has the word I, high. So this is actually they, but it means more than just they. The E, the first E is the THE, and the I is the Y, and it's they. And then it's they, spelled with an E, THEYE. And so it's not just they, but it's telling who they is, because it's talking about who spells they in that fashion. It's coming from this word they, and the Germans would pronounce this day, D-E-Y. And this is the old letter tet, the TH. And it's interchangeable, with the D. You see it in this word, in clee, the way you might pronounce it. But it's actually a cleat. Something you tie your boat off on the cleat. And so all this got interchanged because the D and the TH would change places, like several letters. And so this they, from the Middle English, they, THEY, from the Old Norse, there, THEIR. And you see how the Old English, they were reading the first E, the he, as the THE. The same sound, the, that, this. The Old Norse term, there, they. And the IR is pronounced A in many language, in many words. The DE is the, they. And so it's talking about the Northern Germanic. In a longer time ago, it was they, THE. The first E is a THE, YE, they. They, life. And so it doesn't just mean, they, but it means, their life, as in a type of people, a fisherman, their life, of soldier, a killer, the way they are. In the Middle English, they're still using that TH. And the same in the Hebrew, when you see the DI, that could be thy. So it's who have says they, the type of people that have the says. So in a ancient English poetry, it's yawn. The day America at seen the guys, what's it tie, the arts what lie thy in. Where's in we why have, who have says thy, they. So in a more modern, the dumbed down English that we read today, it's the day America at, had. Hat is a future tense of had. And it kind of means, it's going to happen, because it's going to be past tense like it already happened. But it's in the future is what that means. And the day America had seen, it's as in a scene in a movie, but also, it's where you were to see, seen. And the day that America had seen the guys, what's it they? What is it that they? What's it they? And that's you hear on the Pirates of the Caribbean, what's it they? You know, the guys, what's it they are swabbing the deck. You know, the guys, what's it they? The arts what lie. And so the arts what lie is what I'm trying to teach here. How they write something that doesn't mean what it says. The arts what lie. And the arts what lie they in. Whereas in we who have says thy. And so it's talking about today, you know, and we will possess them. You know, it's when the day that the people find out, you know, and the day America had seen the guys, what's it they, the arts what lie they in, and you know, who who yours in, and we shall possess, and who yours in, we who have says thy. You know, when we have the word over them, when we who had says thy, the I, you know, thy, the Coptes, the I. So I bet y'all real interested in this, so I'm going to go back and read it some more with the directional markings and figure out what it says here when these words are reading backwards, you know, hat and sign, hat and shine the guys, you know, and then when you read it with this mark up here, you know, it's hat and shine, and then the extra N-I in shining. So I'll look some more into this.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.